Hey everyone, it's Mel from IntimacyTV, where we're all about raw conversation and real education. Now, this is take two because my internet wasn't working. Hello, shock horror. Yesterday I took some time off and actually spent a few hours with my female tribe and realized just how important it was to go and do that and regroup. But what I actually noticed was we started this amazing conversation that was all about that unconsciously most of us are fucking shit up. And we're doing it because we literally fear success. And it was a really fascinating conversation to sit there and do. It was like, you sort of sit there and you go, oh my God, like I really, really want it, but fuck, what happens if I actually get it? And that this seems to be an unconscious thing that is happening with so many people, where we're sitting there and we're pointing the fingers everywhere that things aren't working out for us. And, we're blaming everything, people and, the world and TV and news and politics and family and money and this and that about why whatever it is that we're desiring in our life isn't working out, when actually it is your subconscious that has this block and this fear. So we're talking about how most of us are running off fear and shame for a majority of our not just our relationships, but business, like everything. We're talking about how many topics we would say are taboo, and none of them are actually sexual. We were talking a little bit about religion. We had lots of laughs, when we were talking about the difference between spirituality and, traditional Christianity and religion, and, what our beliefs were. And of course, that's always a touchy topic for everybody, but we were able to actually laugh about it and look at the differences. But how society is going out there and everything is fear-based. A lot of the entrepreneurs that I know and people within my network, we actually don't watch the news anymore because it is completely 150% fear-based. It's fear. So most of us, what we're doing is we're not being successful within our businesses purely because we actually unconsciously have this fear of succeeding, and it's fucking ridiculous. And this also works when it comes to our relationships. And when we looked at the correlation between the two, we're like, oh yeah. So many people say that they actually want a relationship and blah, blah, blah. In fact, in our Intimacy TV magazine, we've got all these statistics in there of how many singles there are in Australia. And it was over 4 million. And that 72% of people are actually looking for a long-lasting relationship. Now, most of us would sit there and go, are you sure about that? I mean, we've got so many dating apps and hookup apps and all the rest of it. So we sit there and we're going to question, is that true? When that is what people want. So you're sitting there going, if the 72% of people are wanting a long-lasting, serious relationship, then how come there is 4-point-something million singles out there in Australia? It's a good question. So here's the deal. To have over 4 million singles and to have 72% of them wanting a long-lasting relationship and not having them means that unconsciously they are literally fearing, they have this massive fear on success. What happens if I find my partner? What happens if I find the right person that, I feel amazing with, that I always have the twinkle in the eye with, that's this and that's that? What if? What if I'm missing out? What if there's something better around the corner? Which is how I started my book, Win the Dating Game. It was all based on a TV show that was about a bus that went around Australia, and the women would go and meet eligible bachelors in each country town. And when it got down to, 2 girls that each bachelor would pick, you had the option to to get off the bus and to get to know that man more and possibly find crazy, stupid love. But what was happening was majority of the women were sitting there and they had fear of success, and also sitting there going, well, what if there's someone better around the corner? All right. So most of us are literally fearing success in an unconscious way. So here's the trick. We need to sit there and do a bit of self-analyzation happening here. And you really need to get down to the nuts and bolts and look at What about success in your relationships and within your business, if you're a business operator? What is it that you really fear? Is that fear real? And, how can you overcome it? Well, that's the first step, is acknowledging it. And the second step is going, this is fear-based. And as I said, most of us run on fear, shame, and ego. Okay, so they're the three things that tend to run our brain. Now, you need to remember that 80%, with our brains, it's actually 96.8% of our brain is run by what we call the monkey brain, which is the ego brain. 80% of our thoughts are negative. So if 80% of your thoughts are actually negative that you're happening, no wonder we're scared of success. I mean, fuck. I remember when I had a meeting with a company a few years ago, and it was with one of the biggest companies, here in one of my industries. And I sat there and I went, it was like, oh my God, you should be sitting there going, yay, all right, I can nail this, and I can close this contract. But what it was I sat there and went, oh my God, what happens if I get this contract? Am I going to be able to fulfill it? Am I going to be able to keep up with it? Am I? And it just kept going. So it was actually a fear of success, and I stood in my own way of succeeding, and that's what most of us do. So go off, have a real think about how you're running your business or how you're running your relationships, specifically if you're in one or you're looking for somebody, and think about, what are you really doing? What is your psyche really saying to you? Why is it that you actually unconscious fear meeting the right person? The amount of people that I've heard, it's like, oh, but I'm not ready. When are you ready? I mean, that's like talking to people about having children. It's like, I'll do it when I'm ready. And my mum's always said, you'll never be ready. So she's probably right. I don't think you could ever be ready to be a parent. No matter how much money you've got or how good you think your relationship is, babies come in and it just fucks things up. It just puts a spanner in the works of the word control. So a lot of people, they're wanting to have certainty and they want to have significance and they want to have control. And you know what? Sometimes to have success, you need to be vulnerable, which means you need to let all that go. You need to let the fear go and the shame go and the ego go and all that rest of that stuff go to be able to forge forward and get exactly what you want. So that's it from me today. I know this is a short one. I'm actually going to go and deal with the guy who hacked my websites a year ago. So I'm going to spend the next 3 to 4 hours in a police station doing a police report. So I hope you guys get to enjoy your day a bit better than what my afternoon's going to be. However, I can turn that around and go, well, maybe justice will finally come to a person who decided to fuck with me. Not a good idea, I tell you right now. He's going to end up with a criminal record. So have a good day. Make sure that you have a look on our website for our Intimacy TV magazine. It's on our Facebook page. Go into the link, which is bit.ly, as in ly, /Intimacy TV magazine. Download it. It's free, and we've got amazing information there on everything to do with the love month, which is dating, being parenting with your ex, and of course the gay Mardi Gras, which is coming up. We're going to talk about the drug prep and what the hell it is and how you can take medication now to stop you from getting HIV. So until the next episode, bye from me.